let's get this party started. I was scrolling through the old TikTok and I came across this individual. Oh, let's just make sure we, okay, this girl, hey, listen, you got to make sure. There's nothing wrong with that. And apparently they were reacting to Ben Shapiro reacting to them reacting. Anyway, Ben Shapiro had called her out in a video, and the video, if you found it, it's called Ben Shapiro Reacts to Woke Feminist TikTok. So I'm just curious. I don't know anything about anything here, you know, and let's just kind of get this party started. Let's first watch the Ben Shapiro's wokest feminist dunking. I'm here for it. Let's go. Who is this editor? This is a Ben Shapiro video, dude. Oh my god. Hey, look, my stuff. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Left 4 Dead 1 was goated, though, to be honest with you.
We're gonna
Why is this part of the video?
They're coming! You guys ready?
This feels so loud, too. Oh my god.
They're coming!
Okay, we gotta see. Oh my god. Did they literally just show a modded Left 4 Dead thing?
We are women! We are free!
Okay.
Alrighty, folks, so my producers have decided once again to torture me with TikTok videos.
Left for Woke 2. Okay.
This time, it's all the woke feminists on TikTok.
Woke feminism,
oh,
baby.
Lord, spare me. This video is sponsored by my friends over at ExpressVPN.
Fantastic. Woke TikTok's Leftists for Dead. Okay, that's a little bit... Left for Woke or Leftist for Dead. Damn. I think that might beat me. Now, that one might be much better than mine. That's funny. Leftist for Dead is actually too funny. What is Dear Georgia white women? Why do people spell white like that? Like it's some kind of a slur? Like it's not. It's kind of weird.
Stupid bitch. You ruined everything.
What did they do? Oh, because they voted conservative. I mean, listen, like they vote how they want to vote. I don't know what to tell you.
So, a few thoughts. One, so
Did she edit that last part in there, or did she?
she's apparently singing about the fact that white women voted in outsized percentages for Brian Kemp, which is good, because Brian Kemp should have beaten Stacey Abrams, who's a grifter par excellence.
I don't care about either of them. But what I think is funny is why not blame the white men then? You know what I mean? Like why just the women? Why do an epic sexism? Just blame white people. Frankly, don't blame any white people. Just blame people who voted conservative. Be like, you guys shouldn't have done that. Dear conservatives, you shouldn't have voted conservative. But instead, it's got to be white women.
And
Incredible.
she spells white weird. I don't know why the I in white is now gone. It's W-H-Y-T-E.
It's kind of just kind of hip.
Strange. Don't understand. Also, I feel like this song could be repurposed for about 1,000 reasons. We may have to grab the song, and we may have to use this in the future to introduce segments. I feel like the song is just vague enough.
I'm surprised Ben was okay with like a "you stupid bitch" kind of a thing. I feel like he would offend his sensibilities.
That they could, yeah. I'm not going to mention where we would use this song. I'm just going to say there are a lot of contexts where this might come up.
POV, you're a girl eating a banana. I wish I was that banana. Oh, because that, yeah. Hey, it's called a Riz bomb. Whoop, dunking it. Bro, check out her legs. I feel like this has to be DMCA. They're so hairy. Ew, I like it when my wife's legs are a little hairy. That's kind of sexy to me. I like a little hair. Okay. They're so hairy, you know. I feel like most girls are probably meaner to other girls about their hairy legs. You're a girl. You should dress sexier. Is that something that's actually heard? I get the first couple ones. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. It's just kind of like, it's kind of just, oh my God, put more clothes on. You're asking for it. She looks terrible, by the way. Sorry. That's not nice. I look terrible. This is not really a sexy outfit, though. This looks like a undergarment from like England in the 1820s. Okay. She's so flat. Okay. Would she get implants? All right, like whatever. I feel like this one doesn't really need to be like a woke feminist TikTok. It's more of just like POV annoying whiny person on TikTok complaining about stuff that I don't care about. Simply not for me. You look tired. You should wear makeup. Why are you wearing so much makeup? Well, there is a middle ground.
Person who thinks about this person this much is this person.
I just told you who I thought I was. A god!
Is this what women think, that people think about them like all the time?
I think that sometimes people do think about that stuff, but I will say that it's an interesting conversation to have where if you think everybody's always thinking that thing, it's gone from an acknowledgement of like the way that beauty standards impacts you to almost an obsession to the point where you're always filtering everything through that, if that makes sense. You know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, sometimes people are rude or crude or guys can be kind of gross, versus thinking every single time you walk outside, somebody's always going to be judging you. You know, you're leaning into a victim idea at that point.
I'm sure there are men who are bad who think about women all the time this way.
Whoa, epic Andrew Tate explosion.
But most of us have lives and people we care about and things to do like jobs. And we don't spend all day just watching one woman and then thinking all these different things about her. Do you also mean that people are judgmental about other people? Because it turns out that that goes pretty much every way. Turns out women are also quite judgmental about men and other women. I hate to break this to you, ladies. Very often, women are the ones who are the most judgmental. So the
Yeah, maybe.
idea that it's just the innate evil sexism of
Men that is driving societal standards.
Well, they would say that that's the patriarchy causing those women to be that way. Come on, Ben, get with the woke program.
judgmentalism goes all the different ways. And one of the ways it goes is from women to other women, actually.
If there is one thing that I learned from my women and gender studies class, that is
Guys, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one, guys. This is the video that we've all been waiting for. Jesus.
mind 24/7. It's kin keeping. Kin keeping is the root of stress in most women's lives, and because they don't know the name for it, they are often called irrational. You might notice.
I'm gonna look up what kin keeping is. Kin keeping. Kin keeping is the act of maintaining and strengthening family ties. It's a form of emotional labor done. Oh, so it's just keeping families together. Okay.
On a road trip, your mom's wondering, did everything get packed? Where is everybody? Has everyone eaten? What time are we getting there? When are we?
That doesn't sound like kin keeping to me. Kin keeping sounds more like how my mom calls everybody in the family like once a week, at least all our brothers and sisters. That's just worrying about pee-peeing before a long road trip. I feel like kin keeping, at least the way that we just looked it up, sounds more like women in the family constantly reaching out to other family members to maintain, which makes sense to me, by the way. Which sounds like that sounds like a real thing, because I don't even talk to my own family. My wife talks to my family for me. My wife talks to talks to the women in my family so that they will tell the men what to do. That's how. So I feel like there's a level of truth to this. Yeah.
When are we supposed to get there? What was I supposed to bring? And you might notice your dad saying, calm down. Why are you being so irrational? Everything's going to be fine. Stop worrying so much. And It pains me to see this, because this man doesn't see all the work that your mother has done, because it doesn't have a name. He doesn't.
Maybe you got rid of that old yee-ass haircut you got.
Kin keep.
Come on, Ben. Stop.
It's the unpaid labor that women are assigned to subconsciously as a gender. And not only does this cause a lot of stress in women's lives, but it also breeds a lot of ignorance in men. Did your dad plan that vacation?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, no, I paid for it. I don't plan a singular fucking thing whatsoever. I want to explain it to you. I pay for it. And historically, that's probably how it goes. Dudes be paying, right? So girls be slaying. I'm not going to set up a fucking vacation. I tell my wife, hey, I want us to go on a vacation. Or she'll be like, baby, I really want to go on a vacation, but you know. And so I'll go, whatever. I don't care. That's fine. And I pay for it. That's my exchange, you know? And so factor that in. You know, I understand. Listen, I am all for women. I'm a 6'4" feminist. You know what I mean, guys? I'm a feminist. I protect women. I love women. But also, like, in the ways where there's these gender roles that exist. And, like, of course, there should be the openness to be able to change those gender roles. Also, keep in mind that historically dudes be paying and girls be setting up. Like, that's fine. Who gives a shit? You know, I understand the idea of the kinship thing kind of makes sense to me. Because, like, I think that women probably do a little bit more. They probably do more. Which is true. Girls poop more than guys for some reason. I don't know if that's true. You'd think, based on the women's bathrooms, public bathrooms, full of shit. They're dirtier than men's, and you know it. I would say that, like, yeah, that dynamic exists, but I don't really care. Okay. I just think that women are, like, usually a little better at communicating and being a little bit more expressive. And, like, my wife will talk to my, like I said, I think that's, like, normal. I don't really care. What I will say here is, this is going to be so inappropriate, I do wish I was that banana. Am I right, guys? Am I right? I wish I was that banana. That's very inappropriate. I'm sorry. What a wonderful young woman. I'm married, and I do have a little bit of Jewish heritage, but I am a Roman Catholic. So, God bless. You know, I think that we need a moment. We need a moment to pray. Because that was inappropriate, you know. So, guys. Holy, holy, holy Lord. I don't know this part yet. Yes, I was making that the entire time. Anyway, let's continue.
Did he even get the presents underneath the tree that say "From Dad" on them?
Yeah.
Well, he probably paid for them, yes.
Does he know when your dentist appointment is?
Yeah.
No, of course not. Who cares? That's my wife's responsibility. I paid for it.
Does he know what size pants you wear?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I never would. What?
If not, who did that?
I don't buy my wife clothes. I buy her jewelry and other stuff. And if she wants clothes, I buy her gift cards. What I did the other day is I went to the store because we got a tax refund back. And so I put together a date night gift card bonanza. I got $100 gift card to go out to eat. She could either choose between, like, a few different things, but it was either Red Lobster or Cheesecake Factory. Right, it was on the same thing. And then I got a $50 gift card for Kohl's, and then Home Goods, and then 2 other places that she likes a lot. I'm not gonna buy her clothing. I don't know how to buy clothes for women. That's fucking crazy. That's wild. So, you know, she's just going to return it anyway. Ain't about that. And then I have to return it. I have to be the one to go to return it. Oh, thank you so much for the thought. And then I'm the one going back to fucking Kohl's to return it. What am I going to do that for? Here's some gift cards. Go have fun. I'll take you out. You know what I mean?
It was me. I'm just saying. I know all those things. And my wife does a lot of stuff around the house. My wife does pack for the trips because she's very particular about how she packs for the trips.
True. That's another thing. My wife's very particular.
The idea that it's sort of like a gender stereotype that women pack for trips. Maybe the reason a lot of women pack for trips is because they have a particular way they pack for trips, and if the men do it wrong, then they get yelled at.
That's very true.
I'm not going to say that's happened before. My wife is very detail-oriented. Now, is that because I'm being sexist that my wife is detail-oriented? No, she was detail-oriented before she ever met me.
I don't know if that person was trying to make it seem like it was sexist. I think they were just trying to talk about kinship in a way where, like, they don't even seem to understand what kinship is. And they were trying to, like, ham it up and, like, kind of crybaby, like, feminist bullshit. So I guess maybe they were trying to say there's some kind of sexisms there. But yeah, it just kind of seemed like woe is me women kind of a thing. I don't know.
My wife's a very detail-oriented person. Does that mean that she is kin-keeping? What? I'm not blaming my wife for that. She's very, very careful about how she packs. And I do appreciate it. Also, when it comes time for the trip, I'm always looking at my watch because I know it's not like, we just have different priorities on this stuff. Now, the way that people negotiate these sorts of gaps, that's
my wife's priority is to freak the fuck out over everything. So I have to just calm her down.
That's what we call relationships. That's where love comes in, and commitment and negotiation and all this. But there's a notion that women are inherently victimized because dad doesn't see the work. Dad definitely sees the work mom does. And most of the time he appreciates it. And sometimes he doesn't. And the other thing works as well. Sometimes mom doesn't see all the work that dad does. These are just human relationships. Can we stop giving them idiotic labels, please?
All right, so let's watch her response to this now.
I am honored to announce that me and Ben Shapiro have beef. Now, did I know who Ben Shapiro was a week ago?
What'd she say again? Like feminist kinship? I just want to...
In men. Did your...
Maybe you got rid of...
This man doesn't... Calm down. What time are we getting? 24/7, it's kin-keeping?
Kin-keeping, that was it.
But there's a notion that...
Okay.
No. Have I since learned? Yeah. To my knowledge, he gives the same vibe as Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan. He's a little boy podcaster who likes to bash feminism.
There's no way that you don't know who Ben Shapiro is. Like, this person's just lying at this point. You look like you're terminally obsessed with online discourse. Kin-keeping is the act of maintaining and strengthening family ties. It is a form of emotional labor done for the sense of obligation and because of emotional attachment. Kinky activities extend to family members of different households, stay in touch with one another, and strengthen. Dude, this intergenerational bonds. Methods may include writing letters, visits, sending gifts. This person didn't even know what kin keeping is. She tried to say that kin keeping is when mom knows the dentist. Kin keeping is when mommy dentist. That's not what kin keeping is. Kin keeping is exactly what I was saying before. It's just keeping in contact with different people from the family. She couldn't even use the word right. She heard the term kin keeping in school once.
If there is one thing that I learned from my women and gender studies class that is on my mind 24/7, it's kin keeping. Kin keeping is the root of stress in most women's lives, and because they don't know the name for it, they're often called irrational. So I'm going to give you a little analogy before I explain what it is. Imagine there's a theater and they want to put on a play. They're going to hire not only actors and actresses, but they're going to hire costume designers, people to move the furniture in between scenes, people to move the curtains, people to sell the tickets, to advertise for the show, to show the lights and do the spotlights correctly, people to have the microphones, ushers to have everyone sit in the right
Usher. He's pretty good.
spots. There's a lot of effort and time and energy that goes into a play.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, when the play is done, people are not clapping for everything that they did not see.
Well, they are actually, but okay.
They're clapping for the actors and actresses that they witnessed.
Okay.
In this analogy, the men are the actors and actresses.
Whoa! Conservative men are the actresses now. Shit.
And the women are the people who go unseen.
Are you reading this from something?
During
She's literally reading this from like a textbook.
In the holidays, there's a lot of cooking and cleaning and planning and organizing and wrapping of paper and remembering of dates but a lot of it goes unnoticed because the whole role of this job is to be invisible and to perform convenience for everyone.
This isn't
put on a
kin
show.
keeping.
You may notice during the holidays there's a lot of women in your kitchen.
This isn't kin keeping though. She's not even right about what she's talking about.
Bonding, talking, but they're also doing work. And it's not
Oh, maybe there's different definitions. Describe the invisible work women do without getting credit. Okay.
only your mom. It's your aunts, your grandma.
Okay. Let's see what they respond with.
At first I didn't want to make a response video because the fruit
Nobody's
is
gonna
just
care.
too low. It's hanging too low. It's too easy. But shout out to my good friend Alex because he said, you have to clap back. How can you not? So
Wow, that's all it took, huh? Incredible.
welcome to me roasting Ben Shapiro for however long this video is.
Okay.
Let's begin easy with the view count of being 1.4 million and the like count of my video literally, like, how is it more than your views?
This is it? Well, probably because yours is a 2-minute TikTok and his is an actual long-form video that's like 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, sure.
The way I'm not even...
She could have just responded by saying like, hey, kinsmanship exists, Ben. It's just women going invisible, get invisible labor or keeping family ties that men don't do. It's not really that deep. This isn't really a woke feminist thing. You're just going after me because I look like a traditional, like, young kid feminist that doesn't know anything, but I do. That's what you could have responded with. But the view to like count ratio, fucking boost.
I'm worried about my
Hey, baby
reputation because 10 million people have seen my video.
That's like $40. Yeah, it's like probably $300. Like, congratulations. Okay.
That's double your subscribers.
Sure, that's true. But I listen, not for nothing, but like there is a significant difference between long-term and short-term content. And you keep pulling a 10 million view video on TikTok is kind of nothing. It's like a silly goose. Like you make less money on a 10 million TikTok video than like a fucking like 50,000 YouTube video. So
how are you not embarrassed? Now, getting into the relevance of the TikTok. Now, if you haven't watched the video,
I watched
you can go watch it. It's pretty good.
It's okay.
One lady said that it inspired her to divorce her husband.
Well, I mean, that's just the straw. She was just looking for anything. If he came home with the wrong flavor ice cream, she was divorcing him at that point, if that's what inspired you. Also, why would you feel proud of that? Why would you feel proud to be part of a divorce? But okay, good for her. God bless her in her divorce, I guess.
Hope she's doing well. Think about you every day, babes.
That's weird, but okay.
And then 75 different people duetted it because And it's a 3-minute video. Why are you duetting a 3-minute video? I don't know. It was some type of inspirational. In addition to all of that, apparently like 8 different news articles have been written about my TikTok.
Well, yeah, he's one of them. He owns one of those. I mean, like, okay.
And by no means am I like the instigator of kin keeping. It's just a term I learned in my class. Okay. But I don't think he cares about what I have to say. He only cares about my appearance.
Maybe you got rid of the old yee-ass haircut you got.
I'm sorry my hair was messy. I was filming in my grandma's basement with 1,000 followers. You have 5 million, got snazzy for the studio, and decided to leave in the clip of your back actually in the shape of a lowercase f. I was about to get ready for bed. You're telling me you brought a Sharpie in your cosmetics bag on purpose?
That one was kind of funny. Yeah.
Why do your eyebrows look like that? If only I could blame
kind of a good point.
His decaying posture on the fact that he was actually leaning in to listen to the words coming out of my mouth, but I can't even say that.
A lot of stress.
Come on, bro. You know you guys don't sit. You guys don't sit well. None of us sit properly. That's probably the best posture I've ever seen in my entire life.
In women's lives, but it also breeds a lot of ignorance in men. Did your
Ignorance
dad
in men.
plan that vacation?
Sometimes, yeah.
Did he even get the presents underneath the tree that say "from dad" on them?
Yeah.
Probably paid for him, yeah. That's the whole point. Is that, like, I get it. It makes sense that there's invisible work women do. And I understand the historical conversation and, like, you know, women should be in the workforce and all that. But, like, can we, for a second, sit back and still kind of appreciate some of the things guys did, even though being a good father just meant going and getting money and coming home and not really doing shit. You know, back then, you used to break your fucking body working. So, you know, I mean, listen, let's be a little proportionate. You know what I mean? Guys still contributed. They still made the money. Who wants to do that? It's fucking terrible. Who wants to work? You have to, though. Life's not about wants. It's about needs. And I have a little gas, sorry. So, like, it's like, I get it. Hey, listen, here's something to talk about. Kinship, blah, blah, blah. I don't really like anything that gets to the point where it gets too victim-y. It's cool to talk about, like, the invisible work women do. Talking about how it's, like, the craziest thing women ever go through and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, okay, Jesus Christ. You know, like, come on. Like, you don't, like, shut the fuck up. You know, maybe it's just not for me. But okay.
Yeah.
Does he know when your dentist appointment is?
Yeah.
Does he know what size pants you wear?
Yeah.
If not, who did that?
It was me. I'm just saying. I know all those things.
Now, Ben, if you don't know what a rhetorical question is, let me teach you. It's a question that's meant to make your audience ponder something. Think about something.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you've been a bad girl. A naughty girl, even.
Question other people's experiences.
Okay.
Yes is not very appropriate. Kind of a dangerous rhetoric type, if you ask me. Silencing other people's experiences. But you don't care about that. Your content is for answering questions, not asking them. Got it. And
Oh, she really ended off with that line.
I think that's all I have to say.
Your content is for answering questions, not asking them. That's a fucking, you slayed him with that one. God forbid someone answers a question. Okay. This is so fucking dumb. I can't believe this is the content we're doing today. This is so stupid. Like, he could have explored the concept of kinship more and not been so no, but this was just an incredible response. Well, I loved it. My favorite.
Women are inherently victimized because dad doesn't see them. Sometimes mom.
Next one.
These are just human relationships. Can we stop giving them idiotic labels, please?
Wait, did I skip through something?
Because I know it's not gonna, like, definitely work that dad does.
Shut
These
up.
are just human
Go,
relationships.
shut
Can we
up.
stop giving them idiotic labels, please?
Don't let society pee where you want. Sorry.
Mom doesn't see all the work that dad does. These are just human relationships. Can we stop giving them idiotic labels, please?
Don't let society constrain you. Pee where you want. I agree with that. Why is this a feminist woke TikTok? This is just some, like, weird girl being silly. Oh, and it's for Adult Swim. That's that. It's like an Adult Swim. This was like a trend to, like, tag yourself as Adult Swim and be kind of goofy and silly.
What?
Okay.
What? You know what?
Ben likes it. I think Ben likes it. I think Ben likes it when girls pee. Free piss.
I'm grateful to this woman.
Told you.
It's a woman.
Because this is the outcome of full individualistic autonomy and authenticity, is it not?
He wants to see her take a piss. Ben Shapiro, confirmed water sports enjoyer. Classy.
Not a
Classy
complete reversion
guy.
to the animal. There's actually a little bit of depth to this video. I don't just mean like the depths of the puddles of urine that this woman is now emitting onto the pavement.
Are you salivating, Ben? Is that what you're using ExpressVPN for? To look up pee-pee porn? Pee-pee content? You a little bit of pee-pee? Sometimes it hits the spot. You know? Sometimes it hits the spot.
What I mean here is that, like, what distinguishes human beings from animals is the fact that we do have commitments to one another. And when she says, free yourself from society, and then she proceeds to pull down her pants and pee on the sidewalk. Yep. I'm being what I want to be at the cost of everybody else without any sort of societal standards. Think of a society filled with people who poo and pee in the streets.
Nobody said poo-poo, Ben. Nobody said poo.
Well, I mean, that's San Francisco, I suppose. We'll get to more of these crazy ladies in just 1 second. First,
ExpressVPN. Use it to watch water sports by Ben Shapiro.
Imagine that you go to a coffee shop and you open up your laptop and you're trying to read something good from Daily Wire, and then you feel like, I gotta hit the restroom. So you head on over to the coffee shop and you open up your laptop and you're trying to read something good from...
It said, beyond fraud, wild streams, new reality dating, a MILF manor slammed for involving moms and sons. Why is this Daily Wire news?
Daily Wire, and then you feel like, gotta hit the restroom. So you head on over to the restroom. When you come back out, one of these...
Why? Just piss on the floor.
These crazy people is just browsing through all of your material and leaving bad TikTok videos of themselves. That'd be horrifying, right? Well, why exactly would you give anyone control of your laptop?
Well, why would you leave your laptop out?
Your internet, of your data. You should not. This is why you should do what I do, and you should use ExpressVPN.
How is that gonna change anything? You're saying get ExpressVPN in case you go to pee-pee and you leave your laptop on an open table unattended, and someone jumps on there and starts looking at your stuff? How is ExpressVPN going to help you?
Every time you connect to an unencrypted taxonomic secure aesthetic work.
Let's go, Ben. Let's go, Ben.
/Ben YT.
Let's get to the next one.
Oh, no.
Trauma, and I have two relevant
so she got stupider.
Okay, I want to see what she's here. I want to read what she's saying since Ben can't shut up. I specifically studied gender-based trauma, and I have 2 relevant master's degrees from Harvard on this. Okay.
Let's talk about men who say, not all men. This behavior comes from 3 sources.
So listen, I don't care where you come from if you're from Harvard. Not all men is a reasonable response. There's no significant psychological evaluation on this. This is her saying, I have a degree. I'm very intelligent, which she is. Now my word matters more. It's not going to. The reality is, like, you shouldn't be advocating for your group by othering another group. If your advocation for women is something along the lines of, because the not all men thing, like kill all men or all men are bad, or like you're not being effective in your communication of the issue, right? Just the same thing with women. I criticize the manosphere all the time for being a literal male victim complex. All they do is blame women for everything. They blame women. You have people in the manosphere very prominent that tell women that, like, oh, you were sexually assaulted, that's your fault because you should have picked the better guys. Like, just real scum fucking losers like that, and that blame women for all the problems of men. There's no justification for all men. It just doesn't work. It's not going to communicate a particular message. So there's no magical anything on this that's going to really change that. It's not all men. I can understand why you might dislike a lot of, like, all men as a woman. If all it takes is 2 people to upset you. And then you could develop a prejudice. And there's guys who feel the same way about women. They had bad experiences. And then there's women that feel that way about men. And to be honest with you, there's probably more validity for women hating men than men hating women. You know, women will break your heart. And men will, unfortunately, some men will rape women, right? And it doesn't usually go the other way, at least not to nearly the same proportionality. And so there's a lot more women that have, like, sexual assault traumas, which makes them hate men, than there are men that have those same traumas with women. That's not to say men don't have some traumas like that. I'm not invalidating you, but I'm saying, generally speaking, more women have had the issue of being, put into a really horrible scenario than men have, or even just an uncomfortable one. For that matter, an uncomfortable sexual scenario, just based on the dynamic, you know? But, so I can understand from a personal perspective, women, like, developing a prejudice against men, but that doesn't mean that, generally speaking, saying not the all men thing, it's not going to be a good way to communicate your message to people, right? And that's just it. It ain't that deep. Now, if you say, I think men should look past the all men thing and try to understand, that's cool. But let's see where these behaviors come from.
First, this is a male pick-me behavior.
Okay, great.
Oh, I understand there are men out there who are acting in abusive ways, but I'm not one of them. I'm one of the good guys.
Well, also, I just, I don't want people to say I'm an abusive person, so I would be like, hey, that's not me. It's not all men. Like, hey, relax. You know?
It's a total delusion, by the way. In a patriarchy, everyone has internalized misogyny, sexism, and oppressive ways.
So then all women are bad too? To
treat women. That's why we all gotta unlearn
this makes me want to be patriarchal to women.
Patriarchal ways of behaving.
Everyone's
Number 2, the need to control women's voices. Notice how they are tone policing women?
What?
Far more than they're mad at those men who are abusing, harassing, and raping women.
I guess. I think that they just don't want to be considered rapist abusers. And so, like, please don't say me too, because I'm not that person.
who are giving the rest of the men a bad name.
Wait, hold on. Stop it right there. Stop it there. Who are giving the rest of the men a bad name. You just said they can't give the rest of the men a bad name.
Man.
You just said that's not possible.
Isn't the point that I just goes as said, why does anybody need to reply not all men to the comment men are rapists? Because that implies all men are rapists. I don't think men are rapists. Like, that would be that. Like, it's like, hey, I'm not that thing. That's, you know. There's a difference between saying, hey, there is a lot more sexual assault coming from men, and that's a problem, versus saying that, like, men are rapists. Those are two very different statements. And you know, when you're trying, especially to do like some kind of an advocacy space, you really shouldn't be trying to be as hyperbolic as possible. So like, maybe don't make like inflammatory statements. Saying too many men rape, that's fine. Saying that men are rapists is not fine. So
because all the men are complicit. All the men are the products of that. You can't say not all men, right? This is what she says. She starts off, you can't say not all men because it is all men. Because you've all internalized the patriarchy. Then she says, you are more angry at us than you are at the other men who are giving you a bad name. But you just said they can't give us a bad name. You didn't learn much at Harvard about like basic structures of logic.
What?
Number 3, male superiority complex. This is relate to the male pick-me behavior. Oh, I understand there will be awful men out there like who will abuse and rape and harass you and oppress you, but I'm not one of them. If you depend on me,
isn't that just the first argument?
To protect you from male violence, you'll be good.
I mean, that just sounds like a predatory male feminist to me. That sounds like she described the male feminist. I'm one of the good ones. Because I would never say I'm one of the, because I'm not one of the good. No. I would never frame it like I'm one of the good ones. You should stick with me. I'll protect you. I would just say like, hey, I don't think it's good to generalize all men like that. Like, I don't think that's productive. Okay. But they are male feminists, and male, you know, they pretend to be feminists so that they can get closer to women. Sounds like she's describing male feminism, ironically enough. Oh, interesting.
That instills in women a fear of independence, that the real solution to the male violence is another man.
Sure.
Oh, good luck with this. Seriously, good luck with this one. Her argument is that if a man says there are a bunch of bad men out there and they will harm you, and that one way to protect against bad men harming you is to have a good man.
Yeah, it's very cute when she says patriarchy, which is a cute woman, you know.
Nearby to stop the bad man. You're like, nope, I'm fully independent. So, for most of human history, in nearly all societies, if you did not have a large male body protecting you, you were in serious and dire trouble. And this happens to be true nearly everywhere on Earth right now.
Well, Ben, now you're just making her look right. Like, this is a weird call. Like, she's trying to say men shouldn't put themselves in positions where they try to tell women that they need a man, because, right, for their protection, because it shouldn't be like that. And I can agree with that point. And so now you're just like, oh, historically, you do need men. Like, yeah, we need men and women in our society. But like, women also want independence from bad men because it gives them the ability to, you know, barter for less bad men. But okay.
Outside of the civilized West, where you still have a bunch of able-bodied men to protect you, they're called the police.
Yep, they're called police officers, and we pay them. So it's not like a relationship and like a. It's a professional relationship, not a romantic one, which is what she's referring to.
There's only one circumstance I'm aware of in which that is not true, and that is unless this lady's a Second Amendment advocate. If she's a Second Amendment advocate, fair enough. She thinks women should pack and should be able to shoot guys who are threatening them. I'm all for that. I don't think she is. So what, is she going to throw her Harvard gender studies degree at a man who's truly evil? Is that the plan? She's going to take out that frame degree and just bash him with it?
Well, I don't think that she's referring to a direct scenario of somebody fighting her. I think it's more of she's speaking to guys who go, it's not all men are bad. I'm one of the good ones. You should be with me, kind of a thing, which is just weird. It's actually a man. It's actually a liberal man that she's criticizing. I don't even know if she realizes that she's criticizing liberal men. Maybe she does, but okay, whatever.
Boy, oh boy, Harvard is making people stupider.
Damn.
Year by year.
I should just be conservative. So easy, bro. Fuck.
The misogyny continues.
Yeah.
And did you know that women are 1.7 times more likely to suffer adverse side effects of medications because the clinical trials used to determine the proper dosage were male-dominated trials?
Yeah, okay, interesting. I'll go look into that. That's interesting something. Just want to see what that claim is again.
Likely to suffer adverse side effects. Continues.
Oh my God!
And did you know that women are 1.7 times more likely to suffer adverse side effects of medications?
Women are 1.7 times more likely to suffer adverse reactions to medication. Okay, interesting. Study found that women face higher risk of adverse drug reactions, up to 1.5 to 1.7 times more likely than male counterparts, even when taking into account sex differences in medication use. That's interesting. I think from what I remember from taking my member berries is that they typically don't use women in clinical trials. Are women used in clinical trials. Yes, women are already in clinical. However, women from diverse backgrounds still need to participate more. Okay, in 1977, the FDA issued a guidance banning most women from childbearing potential from participating in clinical studies. This was a result of certain drugs cause serious birth defects. So it seems like 41% of researchers suggest that the average number of females enrolled for specific disease areas for trial. Interesting, because I had always seen something along the lines of that, like women historically don't really participate in clinical trials, and part of that might have something to do with them being able to get pregnant or their hormone levels cycling drastically or something. It seems like women are still underrepresented, and part of that might be in case they don't want to reduce the fertility of women, I guess. Sex bias in medical research has gotten more attention in recent years. This particular study analyzed 2,483 drug adverse reactions combined. I should probably put this on the screen now. It's texting me. Shut up. Sorry. Okay, reaction combinations reported in the Netherlands and found that 15% of them were significantly different for men and women, and 88% of those cases women had more severe reactions. Even today, while FDA give demographic data, there is no statutory requirement to include demographic subgroups. Okay, research of both sexes, for example, clinical heart attack, type pain in the chest, shooting pains are overwhelming experience for men. Well, for women, heart attacks are more likely to announce themselves in short breath. Okay. So yeah, I guess the point that we're supposed to get out of this is that like symptoms are different in men and women, and we have not enough women in clinical trials. So okay, cool. I guess that's a point. All right, I guess they're making a point there. Let's see what else they have to say. Okay.
Medications because the clinical trials used to determine the proper dosage were male-dominated trials. Because let's completely ignore the fact that men and women process drugs differently and have different metabolisms. So yeah, super great. Have you ever heard of the pink tax? It's not actually a tax, but it's a statistically higher cost for female marketed products that are identical to male products. For example, female clothes that are identical to male clothes on average are 10% more expensive.
Interesting. I mean, I imagine they're not identical. That's more of a fashion thing, but okay.
And little girls' toys compared to little boys' toys tend to be 5 to 13% more expensive.
Why? Interesting. It's a lot of information coming at me. I got the research. What is a pink tax? Markup on goods and services marketed to women and for which men pay less similar products and services. Those pink tax and markup goods and services several years ago. Okay, interesting. I can know something. Okay. When company sells a pink product, a female version, for more than a blue product, a male version, the additional revenue from the pink product does not go to the government. The only beneficiaries of the pink tax are the companies who charge more. Well, I mean, I imagine there's still going to be taxes. The tampon tax, by contrast, is an actual sales tax that many states impose on female hygiene products. Okay. Okay. Apparently, there are some people trying to implement gender, pricing thing. It's interesting. I wonder why that is, I guess, is the question. I wonder if it's because women have more diverse and unique styles. Well, for one, for razors, I have no idea why. Just buy a male razor, to be absolutely honest with you. I hear they're better anyway. But outside of that, when it comes to clothing, the only thing that I could think of is that like women's clothing is a little more diverse than men's clothing. For the most part, I feel like men, it's either like a 2X or a 2XL. I could be wrong. Whereas women seem to have a lot of different shapes and cuts and different styles. Women likes maybe that's it. I don't really know. It's interesting. I think that it's she's getting a little lost with like her messaging because it was good. I mean, let me just tone police a woman. We went from the first interesting topic, which was not enough women in clinical trials, which is great, and then we went to the same video, pink tax, and now we're kind of all over the place. I feel like it's a lot. Yeah, I would prefer women don't use razors, so increase the prices of those razors. Message from Papa Gut. So, but okay.
And this inflation of cost, on average, is estimated to cost women $1,300 a year for identical products just because they're marketed to women.
Wear guys' clothes. Got them.
These are just examples to show you how the world is designed to cater to men. So again, there's your male privilege.
I guess so, maybe.
I know some of these words.
About the drug testing, she's not wrong, right? About the drug testing, it is true that now all these pharmaceutical companies are starting to striate their testing.
Hey.
Now, I will point out here that the same people who are claiming that the world is a patriarchy also claim that sex should not be a genetic determinant of anything. That you should be able to walk into your doctor's office and say you're a member of the opposite sex and be treated as a member of your opposite sex if you say that you are one.
Nobody's trying to say that. So.
Pregnant people, pregnant people, pregnant people.
Saying pregnant people isn't the same as talking about, like, you know, a trans person still maintaining their biology. Like, nobody's really trying to say you should be able to walk into the doctor's office as a trans woman and not have to get a prostate exam. Like, that's... But okay.
Pregnant people, pregnant people, pregnant people. Pregnant people.
As far as the cost on female clothing, maybe the answer is because marketing costs for women are pretty high. Men don't shop for clothes in the same way that women do. Here's how a man shops for clothes typically. He walks into a store. He looks at a piece of clothing. He thinks about whether it might fit or not. He does not try it on. He buys it and he leaves.
It's kind of true, yeah.
When you send your wife into Target, you should set up a tailgate outside because it's going to be a while. And women shop for things differently. And
Maybe part of it's that, like, women return clothes at a higher rate, so they have to factor that in. Maybe women steal clothes more than men, and so they have to. That's how it works. Like, if you steal something more, they mark the price up. It's like Walmart will mark prices up based on people stealing. So
companies know this, which is why there's more of a market for women's clothing, which is why they charge more for women's clothing. The same thing happens to be true for girls' toys. I have 2 girls and a boy. They shop for toys completely differently. The way that my boy shops for toys is it a machine and does it have a battery? Does this thing have a button that does a cool thing?
My wife shops for toys like that too. Is it a machine? Doesn't have a battery. I'm just kidding. We don't use it.
And so I walk into a store and I buy him a thing that has a button that does a cool thing. For my daughters, it's like, but is it pretty? Is it the right doll? Is this doll the brand doll?
She's crying.
Does this doll have the specific items that I need? They shop completely differently. And I love ignoring.
That makes sense. I wonder if that's everything, but that does kind of make sense that there would be some kind of marketing cost associated with it. Okay.
All the confounds when you look at overall stats like this. It's always fun.
Whoa, for free? Jesus. Raising my arm when my views get low because all men won't be able to resist. I mean... Got any proof of that? I'm just kidding. That's inappropriate. Does anybody know this? Who's this content creator? I don't know if I can find it. I don't need it. It's for. I'm just curious about the research. It's just for research, you know. And I feel like there's got to be something there, but well, it doesn't matter. The jokes have gone too far. Oh, the jokes have gone too far. They've gone too far, dude. Oh my god, this is insane to me. Jesus Christ. Okay. It's just fucking wild. All right. All right, whatever. You don't want to shave, do you?
Jeremy's razors available for 40% off today.
Hey, and they're probably cheaper than women's razors too. So.
To feminism.
Uh-oh, theater kid.
Look around. Centuries of oppression, now we really must break ground. We've had waves of liberation, but the tide's not yet in. If you think our fight's over, boy, where do I begin?
I fucking hate, I hate theater people. Ben, you're a theater person, by the way. I hate you as well. You're all theater. You're a theater person. So.
Those crazy eyes.
Welcome to feminism, come and take it.
It's not a good song.
Shall we start with the glass ceiling or harassment in the streets? The media
She's not wrong. She's just annoying.
is biased, even against our chests. Have any of you heard of the Bechdel test?
This is not.
Oh yeah, the Bechdel test is like how long can a movie go? Can the movie have female characters that like don't talk about the men in some capacity? It's weird.
Not good.
Welcome to feminism.
It's a bad song.
You prefer?
I like the first song we did.
Fight for women's rights or deny
Ben, this isn't a reaction. This is you talking over the terrible song. Just don't play it.
stickers. We're scrappy, we're daring, and bursting with rage. It's time that everybody got more engaged. Welcome to feminism. Center
How long does this go on?
smaller crash test dummies and paid maternity leave. Our domestic labor should have value too, and would focus on intersectionality because it's all working in the economy.
That is awful. That's really bad.
What I'm getting is that you need some form of employable skill set. If theater is your pick, lady, you are going. That is wow. Wow.
I don't think that Bo Burnham would agree with that usage of him.
Oh, I would not pay her 77 cents on the dollar to write a song. That is bad. That is some bad stuff right there. So here's the thing about feminists. Sometimes feminists make actually not horrible points about the world.
I mean, the song, she wasn't making bad points. She was just annoying about it, so I don't care, you know?
There are bad men out there. They then proceed to take those decent points and beat them to death with a 9-iron, set them on fire, and fling them into the ocean. And that's how you end up with this garbage.
Okay.
This ain't it, girls. Can I say girls? This ain't it, women. Can I say women? This ain't it. People of feminine gender.
Kind of close, actually. It would be like, what would it be? Fuck. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. I've run out of words. Thanks, feminism.
What is it called? It's the term for it. Fems. That's it. I think. Cool video, man.